assumed that the account of the Earth's creation that immediately follows the preamble owes something to the book of Genesis. If so, the material has been thoroughly assimilated to the Maya pantheon and to the Native American concept of primordial water. Comparisons with Aztec accounts, in which a company of gods, including the deity Plumed Serpent, named also in the Quiche text, deliberates then places the earth on the surface of a pre-existing sea, are just as applicable as comparisons with Genesis. Part 1 continues with a description of the first three efforts at creating humans, in line with a widespread pattern shared by Aztec and other Mesoamerican traditions. As Part 1 ends, the narrative changes gears, moving directly into the exploits of the divine heroes Hanapu and, hopefully I pronounce this right, Chiblanc. The work of these two heroes may be said to prepare the world for society and for the well-being of individuals within society. Thus, Part 2 deals with the problem of human arrogance. Part 2. Then Part 3 confronts the scourge of death. The cycle of trickster tales that makes up Part 2 appears to be purely Central American, not shared by Aztec lore. In Part 2, the twin heroes bring low the overproud Seven Macaw, and in further adventures not included here, defeat his two self-magnifying sons, Sipakna and Earthquake. In the cycle of tales that makes up Part 3, the most celebrated portion of the Popol Vuh, Hanapu and Xiblanc vanquish the lords of the Maya underworld called... oh my gosh... Shipiyakak? Oops, wow, totally wrong one. Xibalba. There we go. A term of obscure etymology, provisionally translated place of fright. This material, likewise, is Central American and quintessentially Mayan. Scenes from the story are preserved on painted vases of the Classic period, recovered by archaeologists from Maya burial chambers. Evidently, the sequence of events in which the heroes' twin fathers, 1 Hanapu and 7 Hanapu, are undone by Xibalba and are ultimately avenged by their two sons, served as a paradigm for the dying and the dead, promising them victory over the powers of the afterworld. From the archaeological evidence, the story told in Part 3 of the Popol Vuh must have aided the Maya in their journey through the realms of death, somewhat as the Book of the Dead comforted the ancient Egyptians. Indeed, the vase paintings are, as a whole, with their depictions of underworld lords and the trials of the twin heroes, have lately been called the Maya Book of the Dead. Part 4 and 5 complete the vast epic relating the connected stories of the origin of humans, the discovery of corn, the birth of the sun, and the history of the Quiche tribes and their loyal lineages down to the time of the Spanish conquest, and subsequently to the 1550s. Old as the stories are, they are also new. Narratives of the origin and destruction of early humans can still be heard in traditional Maya storytelling sessions. The traditional account of the discovery of corn continues to be widely told, and tales of the tricksters Sipakna and of exploits identical to those of the hero twins also persist, even if much abbreviated and without the grand continuity of the Popol Vuh. Beyond the native community, knowledge of the Popol Vuh among Central Americans is not only widespread but taken for granted. When the Nicaraguan poet Pablo Antonio Cuedra writes in the Calabash Tree from 1978. A hero struggled against the lords of the House of Bats, against the lords of the House of Darkness. His readers understand that although he refers to a contemporary revolutionary figure, he is also alluding to the ordeal of Hanapu and Chiblanc. For the Salvadorian novelist Manlio Argueta, Cuzcatlan is his book. 1986, the story of the origin of humans from corn as told in the Popol Vuh is a reminder in Argueta's words that the species will not perish, a theme equally detectable and inspired by the same source in the title of the 1949 novel Men of Maize by the Guatemalan Nobel laureate Miguel Angel Asturias. In the translation printed here, wherever the text solidifies into a string of 3 or more couplets, the passage is set apart as though it were a poem. This is a device of the translator. It is not meant to imply that the lines were chanted, but rather to show off the more pronounced moments of formalism in a prose that borders in oratory. So that was the intro, and I will start the story in my next video. It will be part 1, the prologue, the shortened prologue, because this is a shortened version. The version that I'm reading is from the Norton Anthology, World Literature, Volume 2. It's the shorter 2nd edition. I don't know who it's by, because it doesn't really say. So, but yeah, it's the Norton Anthology version. So it's shortened quite a bit from the actual thing. So yeah, the story will start in my next video.